Good evening and welcome back to 49 News for the first spring semester show of 2025. We'll be catching you up on University of Delaware news, local news, and some worldwide news. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Casey Hampshire. Thank you for joining us tonight. 49 News starts right now. The Delaware skating community gathered this past Saturday under sad circumstances. Love coach Alexander Sasha Kirsanov, promising young skaters Sean Kay and Angela Gang, as well as two skaters' parents, were among the 67 victims of commercial airliner crash that occurred at the end of January. They were returning from a skating competition. The community paid their final respects at the Fred Rust Arena, where the caskets all were on the ice, where students and coach could spend hours honing their craft. The students and coach were a devastating loss to the University of Delaware skating community. 3 Newark residents were arrested and charged following a series of thefts from All Saints Cemetery. Between September and October of this past year, 200 bronze ceremonial vases were stolen, the value of the vases exceeding over $100,000. Detectives from Delaware State Police confirmed that the thieves were selling the stolen vases at a local recycling center under a fake name. The 3 suspects, 22-year-old Thomas Hudson, 37-year-old Alonzo Mosley, and 32-year-old Ashley Newcomb, were arrested at a Newark home on February 19th and charged with felony theft, selling stolen property, conspiracy, theft from a cemetery, criminal impersonation, and trespassing, while all 3 are jailed due to failure to post bail. Delaware State Police are still trying to identify a 4th suspect in this case.
Last week, the Friendly's on South College Avenue was demolished and is set to be replaced by a Wawa. The restaurant, which closed its doors in 2022, will now be the neighbor of another new project. The Red Roof Inn is also a part of demolition plans by a Home to Suites by Hilton set to take its place. Accompanying these new buildings will come a 288-space parking lot. With fresh businesses popping up along this part of South College Avenue, Newark believes it will generate much more business to the area. Along with Wawa and Hilton, a Dash-In and a second Wawa are proposed replacements for other close businesses. Building X is the University of Delaware's newest interdisciplinary science building and a reimagined version of the campus's McKinley building, which was damaged during a fire in 2017. This space promises cutting-edge research and studies in behavior, human disease, and quantum science. The university also plans to use the building to expand training for Delaware's healthcare workforce and prepare for future disease outbreaks. Education departments, mainly the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences, can expect to make their full transitions into the multi-million-dollar building by the summer. Students are bundling up with cold weather on campus. I went out to find how students are staying warm this winter season.
With winter weather comes winter fashion. However, dressing for warmth can be difficult, and many students struggle with finding the right outfit to wear on a cold day. In addition, there are many new trends this winter. I asked a fashion professor here at UD to tell us about the trends she has been seeing to analyze if we are also seeing them on campus.
So key trends that we'll see here are some neutral or muted colors, leaning towards some risk-free seasonless colors. So something that, because a lot of right now, consumers are really thinking about investment pieces. So by picking some neutral colors, this can last them the entire year or through a lot of the year anyway. So the idea of oversized silhouettes, oversized comfort, wide leg silhouettes, that's across trousers as well as jeans, really going into that 90s look. Transitional wardrobe, so similar to women's wear, really looking at different things that you can wear across fall, winter, spring.
We heard what a professional at the University of Delaware thinks about winter fashion, but what are the students really wearing?
Okay, so I'm wearing a Skims shirt with my Kate's hoodie, Lululemon pants, a North Face puffer, and Uggs.
Sweatpants are from Garage. This is from Aritzia. This is from Aritzia. Zara is the scarf. The Super Puff. Oh, Aritzia. And then Lululemon.
Winter fashion is a mix of excitement and struggle for students. Some enjoy layering and expressing their style, while others find it hard to balance warmth and comfort in cold weather.
Yeah, controversial. I don't like winter dress. I love like dressing in the summer.
I can like dress comfy but like make it cute, if that makes sense. Like I can wear sweatpants but then dress it up with like a scarf or like earmuffs.
There are definitely some reoccurring wintertime trends seen here on campus. From 49 News, I'm Grace McKenna.
After 9 years at the University of Delaware Athletic Department, Athletic Director Chrissy Rowlick is stepping down from her role effective March 28th. She'll be joining the USA Swimming as its Chief Executive Officer. Jordan Sklonik, the current Deputy Athletic Director of Revenue Generation and Sport Administration for UD Athletics, will lead the department on an interim basis. Best wishes to Chrissy Rowlick in her new position. She'll surely be missed on campus. UD Sports has been growing and changing a lot over these past few months, besides this change in athletic director. Here to give us some insights on what's new and happening in sports is Ryan Coluccio.
Thanks, Casey, and great to be back, Blue Hens. To kick things off, we look at the men's basketball team, who has struggled as of late. Going back about a month ago, the Blue Hens had a solid record of 11-8, but since a win against Elon on January 18th, the boys have gone 1-9 in their last 10, bringing their season record to 12-17. With 2 games left in the regular season, the Blue Hens really need to get back on track if they want a chance at a Cinderella run in the conference tournament. Being that UD is currently ranked as the 12th seed in the conference, this would mean the boys would have to win 5 games in 5 days in order to be CAA champions and get a bid into the NCAA tournament. As for women's basketball, they had a rough start to the season. For the first 2 months, the girls started the year 4-14 in their first 18 games. However, since then, they've won 6 out of 7, bringing their season record to 10-15. The girls have 3 crucial games remaining on their schedule this Friday. They take on Stony Brook, who currently sits 2 spots behind them in the conference standings. And the following week, the girls have 2 home games on Thursday, March 6th against Drexel, and Saturday, March 8th against Townsend. All 3 games will have big implications on the standings for the upcoming conference tournament from March 12th through the 16th. When the days start getting warmer, I always take it as a sign that it's time for baseball season. The Blue Hens started their season 2 weeks ago with a mini road trip to Florida to take on Florida Atlantic University and Florida International University in their own respective 3-game sets. The Blue Hens started the road trip 0-5, but got their first win of the season in the final game of the series against FIU. On the road trip back from Florida, the boys made a quick stop in College Park, Maryland yesterday and defeated the Terrapins by a score of 13-10. Senior Aaron Graber led the game off with a homer in the first to give UD the early 1-0 lead. Later on in the 5th, with the game tied at 3 apiece, the Blue Hens managed to scrape across 4 in the top of the 5th, taking a commanding 7-3 lead, following a double, hit by pitch, sac fly, and single. Then in the 6th, the boys kept things rolling as senior outfielder Andrew Amato hit a 3-run bomb, shortly followed by Graber's second solo homer of the day. Maryland did everything they could to come back in this game and even got the lead down to 1 in the 8th, but thanks to a couple of insurance runs in the 9th, freshman Jake Polaro was able to notch the first save of his college career. The boys look to keep things rolling this weekend with a 3-game series against Bryant before traveling to New Jersey to take on the Scarlet Knights. As for some local Philly sports, it hasn't all been sunshines and rainbows outside of the Eagles' Super Bowl win earlier this month. Philly teams are pretty much a disaster right now. The 76ers find themselves 17 games below 500 at the moment and 12th in the East. At this point, all the Sixers can do is hope that Joel Embiid still has both his legs by the time next season starts. The Flyers have had a slightly better record than the Sixers when you compare their seasons. However, the Flyers may be right at 500. They still find themselves 5 teams back of a playoff spot, making their postseason hopes very unlikely with just 32 games remaining. As for the Phillies, spring training is just getting underway in Florida, and the Phillies are looking to have a big bounce-back year after getting sent home by their division rivals in the Mets back in October. That's all the sports for this show. Till next time.
Rumors are flying about whether or not the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the White House to celebrate their victory at Super Bowl 59. Recent claims have circulated about whether or not they will accept the invite. The team received backlash after headlines said they would not be attending, with an unnamed insider from the team making the statement and an anonymous Eagle star backing the claim. It's still unclear whether they'll accept the invite, but the White House claims they will be sending the invitation soon. Typically, students either walk, drive, or cycle to class, but there's some unique ways of transportation that make the ease of the commute a little bit more fun. Molly Herschel has the story.
Getting to class on time is a large priority for students at the University of Delaware, but some people are finding creative ways to navigate campus quickly and in style. It has been found that not everyone wants to rely on cars or school shuttles. That's why students at UD are thinking outside of the box to get around on campus and get to their classes efficiently.
My favorite part about riding around on campus is like how much faster I get to where I need to be. Sometimes I feel like I get a little impatient with walking, especially like the really, really busy times where everyone's going between classes. So being able to just bike in the bike lane kind of cuts down my time at least half, maybe 75%.
Using these vehicles has shown to cut down a lot of traveling time for students, especially athletes who have practice time far from campus. However, you don't have to be an athlete to ditch the long walk on campus. There are many different types of vehicles that students use that are perfect for getting to their desired destination. Here at the University of Delaware, there are a lot of ways for students to get around on campus to get to classes quickly and efficiently. Many students use bicycles, scooters, and even unicycles.
So along the major roads, each of them have a bike lane, and then the trails also all have bike lanes as well. I would say that they could improve by making the sidewalks along the green wider. It's hard to walk with a bike when so many people are coming and going from class.
Sometimes the University of Delaware's campus can get a bit crowded, but for the most part, this way of traveling is highly supported.
Most times, if it's a really, really busy time, people will like move out of the way on like the green, but there's no really like designated bike lanes for that. But I would say overall, the campus is very bike friendly.
From 49 News, I'm Molly Herschel.
President Trump has moved to cut funding from previously approved electric vehicle infrastructure funding. Delaware Senator Lisa Rochester has collaborated with 8 other legislators in opposition of the cut to write a letter demanding answers. $10.15 million of Delaware's allocated $17.6 million has been allocated for electric vehicle structure. The rest of the funds are expected to be doled out entirely by 2026 fiscal year. So far, there have been no announced changes to previously planned NEVI projects, and DelDOT has not experienced any setbacks. There's a new buzz in Delaware. Some bars and liquor stores have recently started experimenting with selling canned cannabis drinks. The unique and controversial beverage comes in 3 types of THC-infused drinks, including cocktails, water, and seltzers that contain 5 to 20 milligrams of hemp-derived Delta-9 THC. The drinks contain no alcohol and have the same effects as smoking or consuming weed. As of right now, it's a bit gray space whether or not they're actually legal. The State Division of Alcohol and Tobacco Enforcement and the Office of the Marijuana Commissioner are currently working to create a regulatory framework that includes age restrictions and product testing requirements. State officials were sure to still clarify that the unlicensed sale of marijuana is illegal. There have certainly been a lot of new drinks on the market recently, but one of the trends that continues to rise, especially amongst Gen Z, is the sober curious movement. Many are gravitating towards drinking less and seeking non-alcoholic alternatives. Casey Nyman has the story.
There's nothing Gen Z loves more than a fun beverage, and that doesn't necessarily mean an alcoholic beverage. In fact, many a part of Gen Z have been drinking less or have completely stopped drinking altogether. New research shows that in comparison to previous generations, Gen Z has experienced a sharp decline in drinking habits. A 2023 survey from Gallup found that the share of adults under age 35 who say they ever drink dropped 10% points in 2 decades. Dry January, No Drink November, and of course, Sober October are just the start of Gen Z's sober curious movement, as more and more people seek to limit their alcohol consumption. Today's generation are less interested in drinking for a multitude of reasons. Certainly, the culture changed post-COVID, but the economy is also making it harder to enjoy a night out. A big proponent of it may also be the rise of the health and wellness trends on social media. Terms like clean girl aesthetic are promoting a quiet, wellness-based routine lifestyle that aims to cut out drinking and partying. While this may seem like a hit to the beverage industry, many brands have still found ways to profit from this sober lifestyle. For years, companies like Heineken, Michelob Ultra, and Budweiser have been selling 0% alternatives, and the number of available non-alcoholic beverages continue to rise. You can now find non-alcoholic spirits, wines, and seltzers, not to mention the new venture of relaxing stimulant drinks made from mushrooms. While UD continues to sustain its reputation as a party school, the campus still has a touch of sober, curious culture. In fact, there are many places with non-alcoholic beverages, including the popular restaurant on Main Street, Homegrown.
They choose to, NA. I have one bartender who doesn't drink anymore, and she always does NA. My chef always does like an NA cocktail as well. It's becoming easier because there's now literal liquor alternatives, like fake tequila, fake gin. Yeah, like we have a whole line of them we're tasting right now for a new menu coming out, and it's pretty crazy. Like the tequila is close. You know what I mean?
From zero-proof beers, handcrafted mocktails, on-tap kombucha, and even non-alcoholic tequila, they've got every sober option you could think of on top of an extensive beverage list. Server, bartender, and UD graduate Brooke Myers whipped up two of their most popular mocktails, the Violet Turning Violet and Bird by Bird, and they're both the perfect option for those who still want to have a fun and exciting sweet drink with friends.
What you're looking for is going out and hanging out with your friends and being with music and people, and that buzz from alcohol is not actually what you're craving. You know what I mean?
Many recent research studies continue to warn against the harmful risks of alcohol, specifically in terms of being linked to an increased risk of cancer. U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy advised in January that alcohol consumption is the third leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S. behind tobacco and obesity. So for many, this self-inflicted dry vow stems from these health concerns. But alcohol still continues to be a debated topic in society. While these trends predominantly impact Gen Z, time will tell if more older generations and the Generation Alpha adapt to the growing movement. Reporting for 49 News, I'm Casey Nyman.
Those mocktails look like the perfect thing to sip on the patio once it starts to warm up on campus. Luckily, Blue Hen meteorologist Sienna Casa is here with a scoop on what the upcoming weather will look like.
Good evening, Newark. I'm meteorologist Sienna Casa with the weather. Red and green tinted clouds have been spotted in Mars's atmosphere. These pictures show twilight clouds, which give off a rainbow of colors due to scattered light by setting sun. They are made of carbon dioxide, ice, and travel as low as 31 miles above the surface. NASA scientists wonder why these clouds have only appeared in certain areas of Mars and not others. Looking at a map, half of our state is in the deep orange, meaning we are experiencing severe drought, with the rest in the light orange, meaning moderate drought in that area. Here are the local conditions. It's beginning to warm up at Delaware as it was 50 degrees this afternoon. Currently, it is slightly colder and we are sitting in the mid-40s. The temperature will feel relatively the same tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We are looking at a chilly night for the overnight forecast as the temperature will drop to 39 degrees. The sun will set around 6 and will rise at around 6:30. Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, we will receive some AM showers and we will reach temperatures in the high 50s. The rest of the week will be partly cloudy and decently warm in the low 50s and 60s. Looking at the beginning of next week, Sunday will be pretty cold with low temperatures below freezing. However, moving through Monday and on, temperatures will gradually warm up and we will even see some showers on Wednesday. Thank you for tuning into Blue Hen Weather and see you next time.
Walking by on Main Street, you may not have noticed this new gem that has replaced Hamilton's on Main. The new Greenhouse Gastropub offers students, families, and visitors a place to enjoy aesthetic interiors and even better eats. I went to check out the spot. Out with the old and in with the new. The eclectic collection of Main Street businesses has been ever-changing over the past decade, with shops, restaurants, and high-rise buildings constantly popping up, the newest addition being the Greenhouse Gastropub, located where the Hamilton's on Main used to be at 102 East Main Street. Owner Darrell Eastland was ecstatic to bring his new aesthetically pleasing hotspot to Main Street. What inspired the opening of this location?
So we were actually really inspired just by the building itself, but also just because we really like Main Street was like the best patio that is on Main Street, so that really attracted us, considering the theme was going to be the Greenhouse Gastropub. And what we meant by the theme of the Greenhouse Gastropub was because we're going to have a lot of live plants in here, not necessarily the menu, but we just wanted to be like very inviting, a nice like home/greenhouse environment, and the light provided in here was just like really nice. The exposed brick really helped with the industrial feel of everything, so it just, the theme kind of just fell into place with that, yeah.
And what's the most, like, what sets you apart from the other restaurants on Main Street?
Well, I mean, aside from having over 300 live plants that I take care of myself inside of the restaurant, just the simple fact that it's a very, I think, Instagrammable, friendly place. Not to say that everything on Main Street is not beautiful. I just do think, being a little biased towards my own restaurant, I feel like the plants have a nice welcoming environment for everyone, and I definitely think that sets us apart from everywhere else on Main Street. Honestly, I feel like right now our steak frites and our short rib kind of cannot stay in stock. People just come in and they just eat them right on up. And I will say on brunch, our brunch beignets are extremely popular. Those are like the top 3 things for me at least. Just being, again, a little biased. But yeah, I will say brunch and our dinner menus are really, really good.
Stepping inside is a wonderland of greenery of over 300 live plants that he tends to himself. He hopes to integrate this lively scenery in upcoming events where customers can make their own terrariums while sipping their handcrafted beverages. I'm here at Newark, Delaware's newest addition to Main Street, the Greenhouse Gastropub, which has been described as a community-based and locally sourced restaurant featuring lots of sustainable food options from brunch to lunch to dinner and craft cocktails. There's really something for everyone here. Their grand opening took place on November 23rd, and they've been serving the local Newark community ever since for brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. 2 UD students, Molly and Emily, shared their anticipations about trying the new spot.
I'm excited. I love trying new restaurants, and we're about to go try lunch here and study, and yeah, super exciting.
So I've been to Gastropub about twice now. I'm going for my 3rd time, and I can't resist it. Their french fries are so good. They have like a malt vinegar aioli that goes with it. Hand-cut french fries is my favorite food. And it's just it's a vibe in there. Their bathrooms, phenomenal, best on Main Street. So I'm excited to go study and eat a good lunch.
Not only does Darrell pride himself on having an Instagrammable spot, but the food tastes as good as it looks. From Bananas Foster's waffles to pork belly bao buns, they've got a diverse menu that fits perfectly into the elevated pub grub theme. For 49 News, I'm Casey Hampshire.
Pope Francis is seeing slight improvement after his hospital visit 2 weeks ago. He was able to rest well overnight and is resuming to his work activities, according to the Vatican. Just 2 weeks ago, he had been taken to the hospital and diagnosed with double pneumonia, which raised many concerns for his health. In the past 2 weeks, he has not had any new acute respiratory episodes and has remained stable. His prognosis has remained reserved and guarded, and there are now nightly masses in St. Peter's Square, praying for the recovery of 88-year-old Pope Francis. One of Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers, Anthony Rico, has filed a motion to withdraw from his defense team. The lawyer stated under no circumstance can he effectively represent Sean Combs. Rico did not explain why, but he assured the court that Combs still has 5 other attorneys, so the trial will not be delayed. Combs remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, awaiting his May 5th trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges to which he has pleaded not guilty. Fire Festival. Does that name ring a bell? Probably not for the right reasons. But tickets for the Fire Festival 2 went on sale on Monday, 8 years after the ill-fated Bahamian Music Festival. The initial festival was plagued by false promises of luxurious amenities, musical acts bailing, and ticket holders left stranded on a remote island. As a result, founder Billy McFarland pleaded guilty to $26 million in wire fraud charges and served 4 years in federal prison. McFarland, who was also in charge of the new festival, insists this time will be extraordinary and unforgettable. Fire Festival 2 will take place from May 30th to June 2nd in Mexico, with ticket prices starting at $1,400 and going up to $1.1 million.
Perfect Pets, a pet store in Colorado, has faced its second robbery this month. This past Friday, 3 suspects faked a medical emergency in order to steal 2 English bulldogs. Witnesses were unsuccessful trying to chase after the suspects. However, one thief was arrested, and the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office is still on the hunt for the remaining suspects. The popular YouTube and social media personality, Brittany Broski, is headed to UD this Friday for a performance at Perkins Live. Her headlining event is immediately sold out, and popular demand from students led the event to be moved from Trabant to the Bob Carpenter Center. Despite the event being free to students, there have been reports of students selling their ticket. After the location switch, they had an additional sale to enable more people to attend for free. If you were able to snag tickets, be sure to bring your UDID and a ticket for entry. Did you get tickets?
I was unable to receive my Brittany Broski tickets, and I'm so upset.
Oh no, it'll be okay.
That's all we have for you tonight, Newark. Make sure to follow us on social media at 49 News.
And stay tuned for our next show, March 19th, same time, same place. I'm Casey Hampshire.
And I'm Grace McKenna. Stay safe, Newark.